preseason game, whether you're playing in the Super Bowl, NFC Championship game, if you treat it the same, it's just ball, man. It's 60 minutes, potentially plus, of flying around with your brothers and having a great time and playing the greatest game in the world. The standard is always the standard. The media doesn't determine the standard. The opponents don't determine our standard. The standard is the standard, and we compete every day.
So proud of you guys, man. Amen. Tough couple weeks. We made it proud. You guys made it proud, man. Unbelievable. Come on. Hey, family on me, family on three. 1, 2, 3. Hey.
Week number 12 of this National Football League season. Time for another edition of Cowboys Huddle inside the Globe Life studios here at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones, along with Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer, back home this week. 3:25 kickoff on Sunday against those Philadelphia Eagles. And you got to feel good about things with the win last week, Monday night. It is a short week, but everything right there for you with the Eagles coming to town.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a good win out there in Vegas, and excited about the way our guys played. But this is always a fun one. We love playing these guys, and it's one of those situations where they're a really talented team. We know them well, they know us well, and it's going to come down to execution.
All right, let's talk about your defense a little bit. And you had a couple of additions, more than a couple of additions, really, in the Monday night win over the Raiders. I want to ask you about the Quinnen Williams effect on this defense. It was obvious to even someone who is just watching leisurely, but what effect does he have on this defense?
Well, he's obviously an incredible player, incredible young man. Just he's a force inside with his strength and power, the ability to affect not just the pocket for the passer, but the internal A gaps and B gaps for the run game. I thought we did a great job playing on what I would say their side of the line of scrimmage. We dictated to them. There was nowhere to run. We affected and hit Geno Smith a bunch, but he's a huge part of that. Just love the way he plays, and obviously he has history in this defensive structure in this front, and so it was easy for him to pick right up where he left off.
Okay, looking at this Eagles offense in particular, they've got a winning formula, not only playing great defense, but also what they do offensively. And one of the biggest things Jalen Hurts does is take care of the football. He only has one interception on the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it all starts, as he takes care of the football and he doesn't put them in bad situations. He knows they do have a great defense. He's got some weapons. Both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are very, very talented. And then, of course, Goddard's a really good tight end. And then, when you have a chance to just turn around and hand the ball off to a guy by the name of Saquon Barkley, that's a pretty good combination. So he's playing really good football right now.
Speaking of Saquon, I want to ask you about your linebacker position with the addition of Logan Wilson, with the addition of DeMarvion Overshown. What are you seeing at the linebacker position?
Yeah, I thought they played really well the other night. Again, I think we feel like we've added some depth. Logan and K9, kind of Kenneth Murray, they took opportunities running the defense and being the green dot. It was great to have Demo back. And another guy that just I can't, rave enough about is Shamar James. I mean, young, talented guy, all over the field, makes a bunch of plays, and a very, very bright future.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of Cowboys Huddle. Up next, it's Will McClay. We break out the telestrator next.
Cowboys Huddle with Brian Schottenheimer, powered by Reliant, is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, what would you like the power to do? And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort. Proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
Welcome back to Cowboys Huddle here inside the Globe Live studios. Bill Jones now joined by Will McClay. It's telestrator time now. We take an up-close look at a couple of key players for these Philadelphia Eagles. We start on the offensive side of the football. How about, of course, they got A.J. Brown, but they also have number 6, Devontae Smith, a former Heisman Trophy winner at wide receiver.
Yeah, he doesn't make as much noise publicly as 11, but he's a really talented player. So we're going to look at it here.
what they love their weapons, and they're going to do things off of the coverage. So here's Devontae right here. They're going to read the safety. They're going to run verticals, but it all depends on what the safety does. He's going to do a great job with his release, and then he's going to stack the DB. When I say stack the DB, he's going to get on top. He's going to give the quarterback a clear vision for a throw. So they move, motion goes across. They know they got some sort of zone. They're not following a man. All right? Now, that release, and then gets skinny, and he stacks the DB, and then tracking the deep ball is one of the things he does best.
Against the Broncos, got past Riley Moss for the deep pass, and Jalen Hurts is good at the deep pass. Here's another example here.
All right, here's an example here. Now, Minnesota's known for all of these crazy looks. So at the snap of the ball, you're going to see this safety go down here, this one rotate back, and this guy's supposed to play outside leverage, squeeze him into the middle of the field. But now we're going to talk about AJ's route and his ability to run routes, stack the DB, and then you'll see him make the DB open his hips to give him the middle of the field, and you're going to see a great throw and catch right here. So it starts off of the ball, all right? They're showing him the look. Now there's going to be rotation. The safety comes down. Now, looking at 2, weave him outside, make him open his hips, which opened up the middle of the field, and then he's 160-something pounds breaking a tackle.
Devontae Smith for a touchdown right there. Okay, another example here.
All right, this is one, again, the way they use their people, it could be AJ, it could be Devontae, but again, they're 3-by-1 over here. They're gonna give you a little motion, see what the defense does. They're gonna run a dig across here, and he's gonna run a post. The quarterback is gonna read these 2 guys. This guy's gonna come down, and he's gonna hit his man AJ in the middle of the field. All right, you get motion. Again, motion tells you. All right, gives you an idea, a little run fake, 29 goes down, and then again, the ability to track the ball at this highest point and catch it, that's where he makes his money.
Looks like he probably was a pretty good center fielder growing up as well. All right, on defense, big number 98, Jalen Carter, a guy we didn't see the first time. Well, he saw it's not for a defensive staff.
Yeah.
Right?
Their front seven's very, very talented, and they use them in a number of different ways. All right, they're going to show 5 down. They got 5 defensive linemen down. That's going to give you opportunities to get singles. What's going to happen is, based off of the alignment, this play is going to this side, so they're really not worried about 98. He's aligned outside. He's going to make him come get him, and he's going to be ready with his hands and his quickness and make a disruptive play in the run game on the other side. So here you go. You got motion. He goes out. The guard thinks I got to go get him. There's a nice, strong club, and then
closes fast, doesn't it?
Violent play.
In the run game. All right, and here you got the new guy over here, Jalen Phillips, the pass rusher they just acquired from the Dolphins, and he affects his play too.
Yeah, the interior guys make the outside guys' job easier. So here's 98 here, and here's the rusher here. They've got 4 guys down. And again, what they do a great job is screwing with the offensive line, kind of confusing them a little bit. This guy's going to go, act like he's going. He's going to pop out, which is going to take his eyes to him, which is 2-on-1, which frees up Jalen Phillips here. So the presence of Jalen Carter. So watch this. You get motion. Okay. Looks like they're going to rush 4. He slides outside. Motion. Look at it. Nice clear lane because of 98's activity.
All right, one more example of Jalen Carter, this time lined up right over the center.
Yeah, again, it's that 5-down thing that's kind of in vogue. Motion goes, now you're going to slide over. They could double team these guys, but now you've got 98 on a center, and that's a matchup that they want, and you will see why here. Motion goes across, everybody's got singles. He wins so very quickly, and he's only got 1 sack, but what he produces for his teammates, like that interception.
Produced a touchdown right there for the linebacker. Will McClay, we appreciate it. Up next here on Cowboys Huddle, it's Donovan Ezaraku, mic'd up.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort. Proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
Welcome back to Cowboys Huddle here inside the Globe Life studios at the Star in Frisco. And now time to go behind the Star. Meet a member of the coaching staff. It's defensive assistant J.J. Clark.
My name is J.J. Clark. I'm a defensive assistant. I work with the linebackers and closely with Coach Eberflus. This is my 12th year coaching and my first in the NFL. It starts that, I'm the son of a coach. My dad's actually the head of human performance at the Detroit Lions. So grew up around the game, and when I got done playing in college, I knew I wanted to go into coaching. And I pride myself on the fact that I've coached at every single level in college football, from Division III, NAI, Division II, FCS, FBS, and now the NFL. So have really been across the country, from Northern California to Ohio, Tennessee, Texas, and now obviously in Dallas. Just from a coaching philosophy standpoint, kind of like I said, I think you want to be able to coach the whole person. That starts with having deep relationships with your players. The old saying, they don't know how much you know or they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I think that's really important for you to be able to speak truth, not only into to a player's play, but also into his life. So developing relationships, I think is really important, and setting and upholding high standards for your players. And then the last thing is, I think you can take things really serious, but you can't take yourself too serious. At the end of the day, this is still, it's a child's game that we get to play. And if you're not having fun, not only when you're playing, but also in the weekly and daily preparation, then you're not doing it right. I want to be a part of the culture and the system that Coach Eberflus and our defensive staff is implementing, that the whole idea of hits, hustle, intensity, takeaways, and playing smart football. I want to embody that, being, in my role, in kind of a support staff role. I always want to be someone that's an encourager and someone that brings a ton of energy and good energy to practice, meetings, and everything like that. I'm blessed. I've got a tremendous wife, Samantha, and 3 boys, Shepherd, Seeker, and Strider, who are 6'4" and almost 2. So when I'm not here, I am with them. We're either throwing the football, playing baseball, going to the pool, getting outside, going outside, fishing, doing something. So when I'm not doing football, I'm doing something with my wife or with my 3 kiddos.
A strong defensive performance for the Cowboys against the Raiders on Monday night, especially from the rookie Donovan Ezaraku, who had a tackle for loss for a safety. Here are the sounds of the game with Donovan Ezaraku.
Happy Founders Day to the Brothers of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, man. Root to the good brothers. Meet you to it or beat you to it. I'm gonna get there first, cause I'm due. I need to impact that. I'm due. It's gonna work, man.
From 49, Smith under center, and he gives the ball to the rookie Jetty, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage by a blitzing Malik Hooker.
I second-guessed the inside move on it. I went 1-2. I thought about it. I popped back out. I got to do better.
Little late pressure. Now a lot of late pressure. And he's wrapped up by first Kenny Clark and second Connor Williams.
Yes, sir, KC. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh.
Donovan Ezaraku is also down on one knee back at the 30-yard line.
They trying to build some Dallas though, bring the show here.
And Smith hands it to Jenny in the end zone, and Ezaraku might have him in the end zone. Ezaraku got through, and it's a safety.
What you talking about, boy? What you talking about, boy? Yes, sir. Baby. Are you? The Shotty is not coming off the rest of the year. Nicely done. For the rest of the year. For the rest of the year, brother. Cowboys Nation got the dub on Monday Night Football. How about them boys?
Donovan Ezaraku off to a strong start in his NFL career, and Cowboys Huddle continues in a moment as the head coach rejoins us and we take an up-close look at this Eagles defense.
This segment is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
Cowboys Huddle continues here inside the Globe Life studios at the Star in Frisco as Brian Schottenheimer rejoins us now. We're talking about Cowboys, Eagles, 3:25 kickoff. Let's talk about Vic Fangio's defense a little bit here. For me, what stands out when I look at that defense is the big guy in the middle, Jalen Carter, but they've got other guys too on that defense that stand out, right?
Yeah, they do. It starts really with the front seven. Very, very talented group. You talked about Jalen Carter, again, just dominant interior defensive lineman. Really good move by them to go out and get Jalen Phillips, a guy that Vic knew when his time in Miami. He's very disruptive off the edge. And then again, Jordan Davis, I think, is playing great football, and Hunt, they're deep. They've got guys, and then Zach Bond, just an incredible linebacker, great instincts, and he fits their defense to a T. And then Jahad Campbell and Nakobe Dean, those are really good players. The front seven is what drives this defense, and part of that would be me talking about Cooper DeJean, because he's a good football player too, versatile piece. He can play inside, he plays corner and base, he plays nickel and sub, and always finds a way to be around the ball.
All right, offensively for you, clicking against the Raiders on Monday in the passing game. I'm going to ask you about CD and George Pickens. And, those two guys, they are at an elite level, run after the catch. But I want to ask you about the mindset of both those guys. It's as if both those guys, when they get the football in their hands, they think they can score on every play.
Well, I think they probably can, Bill. I think they've both shown that. But again, I love the way they just play. Like I think of the touchdown that GP had where it shows CD on the backside, like saying bye because he knows that GP's going to score. We're so fortunate to have two guys like that are both dynamic, and it makes it incredibly hard on a defense to how do you take one away? You can double one. It's hard to double both. If you double both, then that's going to open up the run game for us. And they definitely feed off each other from a competitive and just love of the game.
One classic shot on the sideline. You went over to both of them sitting on the bench, and there was a group hug there on the sideline and excitement there. I thought that was one of the best shots on TV and during that game.
I love those guys, man. I love the energy they bring, and again, they kind of jump-started us after a little bit of a slow start, and me, I'm a man that shows my emotions and wears my emotions on my sleeve, and I was really excited after CD's first touchdown.
And I love seeing Hunter Lipke involved in the offense as well. I mean, you can really see not only what he traditionally would bring at that position, but his ability to catch the football as well. Yeah,
versatility is like we were just talking about with Cooper DeJean. I mean, this is a guy that can play fullback. He plays one back, running back. He's involved in our third down stuff. He plays tight end. There's so many things that he can do, and then you talk about on special teams. I mean, the guy's just an incredible football player, and it was fun to see him get involved.
All right, we wrap up this edition of Cowboys Huddle with Shotty's Shot when we come back in just a moment.
This segment was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
Final couple of minutes of Cowboys Huddle. Bill Jones, Brian Schottenheimer, and it is time for Shotty's Shot for this week. Looking at the offensive side of the football, the left tackle, big number 60, Tyler Guyton.
Yeah, Tyler's a guy that, again, I'm just so excited about his future, Bill. I mean, the talent jumps off when you watch him. You go back and you watch a guy that played defensive lineman at TCU, and then he goes to Oklahoma. He plays right tackle. We draft him. We kind of fall in love with the traits and the skills. We're like, hey, buddy, hey, congrats on being a Cowboy. Now go play left tackle. You see the physicality he plays with here. Watch the length here. I mean, watch him do a great job of dumping this DB. I mean, there's a mindset with this guy that's just different, and that's why I think he's got such a bright future.
And he also caught Tyler Smith, who has fallen over the tackle there, too. The other thing about all these offensive linemen is the youth on this team. He's 24 years old. Tyler Smith, though drafted 2 years prior to him, just 24 years old. Cooper Beebe's 24. Tyler Booker's 21. And even Terrence Steele is, 27, 28 years old.
Yeah, and I will say this. I mean, going back to Tyler Guyton and all those guys really is like Tyler Guyton is still learning fundamentals. He's still learning how to use his feet and gain leverage and how he punches and puts his hand placement, things like that. The sky is the limit for a guy that's got this type of work ethic, but the talent is unique.
How's his acting skills?
Okay. Yeah, maybe a little bit dramatic at times.
All right, that does it for this week's edition of Cowboys Huddle. Good luck Sunday afternoon against those Eagles. Coach, we appreciate all of you joining us, and we will see you again next week.
Cowboys Huddle with Brian Schottenheimer, powered by Reliant, was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, what would you like the power to do? And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys.